Guess who's back? Back again. Darth Maul's back. Tell a friend. Did you enjoy my little rap there? Hey everybody, there's a Maul show out, and it's pretty good. I just started it, but so far, fun. But it made me want to make a Maul video because I actually own most of the Mauls. I own 3 out of the 4. So this is a little different from normal character analysis, because in a character analysis I tend to want to do a little deep dive on a character that maybe people aren't familiar with, but I think at this point everyone knows who Darth Maul is. There's a lot of lore over the Disney stuff that I'm sure many other people have made better videos about, that you can go watch for that, about the history of Maul leading up to this new show. I'm not even familiar on all of it, so I had to do a little refresher before I dove into the new show. But what I will highlight is the terrific book Maul Lockdown by Joe Schreiber, which is basically Maul undercover in a prison, and it's a super good book. If you haven't read it, and you want some really violent R-rated Star Wars featuring Maul, I highly recommend Joe Schreiber's Maul Lockdown. There's also Maul. He wrote some other stuff, but Lockdown is my favorite. I really recommend that book. But let's talk about the pieces. Starting off with one that I drew way back in the day. You can see he's a little broken. He's lost half his saber, sadly. This guy has been in my collection since he released way back in 2004. This is the original Darth Maul from Clone Strike. At the time, he was a pretty impressive piece. Still is fairly decent, I think. Triple attack and Sith Rage, awesome. Great stats, 55 points, pretty expensive for that time, but just a really awesome piece, meant to represent the absolute beast that he is in Phantom Menace. Triple attack with Rage is still a powerhouse. That's a huge amount of damage for the Clone Strike era, and it's a still pretty good amount of damage now, combined with the fact that he's got deadly attack. So I like him a lot. Rolling Cleave, I don't know how much that comes into play, honestly, but it is pretty good, I guess, situationally. But for back in the era of just when the game was a lot of beat sticking and hitting each other back and forth for lots of damage, he had great stats. Sith Rage is still one of the best powers in the game, if you ask me. Especially if you've got triple. It's crazy. 90 damage a turn is no joke for the Clone Strike era, and it's no joke now for 55 points, I think. Still a really solid piece, arguably surpassed, but I still think very viable. One of the better pieces from the early sets, in my opinion. Just a good, solid fighter. His second iteration is kind of a disappointment. I remember being very excited when I drew him in Universe. This is Darth Maul on Speeder. You can hear Wesley's, oh my god, crazy Wesley scampering. Darth Maul on Speeder. It's an odd piece. He's more expensive than his predecessor, and I don't know if he's better. He's not got flight, which is something that Mike pointed out in a video a while ago, which is that you would think he has flight, but I guess the idea is that he's not far enough off the ground to have flight. I kind of think that's a little nonsense, but yeah, he doesn't have flight. Charging Assault is still really good. double speed, then an attack at plus 10 damage. That's nice. Plus, once you've charging assaulted, then you're in range to do double. You can charging assault with Sith Rage for a 40 damage charge. I think the triple with Sith Rage is more useful. Accelerate is like good, I guess. Blue Milk doesn't really like this guy. He's sitting at a 722. I think that's maybe a little low. I think he's fine still. I would not take him over the Clone Strike Maul because I would rather just triple with Rage. Busy day in Brooklyn. I would rather just triple with Rage versus all this complicated charging assault stuff. I just don't think it's as good, honestly. He might be a fun piece to play. I don't know if he's better, but certainly you have a variety of options, and he's very movable, but not as movable as you'd think because of flight. I just don't know. I really don't. I think that they made him worse. I gotta be honest. I just think that he's worse. Blue Milk thinks that he's worse. I think that he's worse. I don't think he's that much worse than Blue Milk thinks. Yeah, just not great. Then we have the only Maul that I don't have, which is a Maul that I really want and should get, which is Champion of the Sith Maul, which is certainly the best Maul, I think, because for 2 less points than talk about the power creep in this game, right? 2 less points, now he's got quadruple and Rage, along with deflect, assault, and leap. The thing is that he only has 3 force points, so it's not like he's going to be using like all that like powers. The Clone Strike one just had Rage, which he would use 3 times. Whether this guy is going to get to deflect, assault, and Rage, I don't know. But like certainly you would rather have quadruple attack than roll and cleave, I think, right? Like especially quadruple attack with Sith Rage. This is great. That's an insane damage output. The leap is honestly nice, and assault is nice to have, and deflect is nice to have. They're all nice to have. I can't imagine many scenarios in which I'd rather do any of those than saving my 3 force points for just raging 3 times. Especially because it doesn't have Master of the Force, so he can't assault and rage. Yeah, it's a great piece. Massive damage output. Cheaper than the Clone Strike one. Why? I don't know. Really one of those examples where it's like, what were you doing with your point scaling, wizards? I guess his stats are worse, but he has more HP. I don't know. A better piece. Wish I had him. Incredible sculpt. Should get him. Probably will soon. But the only Maul that I don't have. But I think, without a doubt, the best. Blue Milk thinks he's the best. He is the best. He's one of the only pieces in the game to have quadruple attack. Plus quadruple attack, plus Sith Rage. Speaks for itself. 4 attacks at 30 damage. It's crazy. He's not an elegant duelist, but he just hits you hard. And he hits you a lot. So that's Darth Maul, right? The final one is Sith Apprentice, which I did a video on when I unboxed him. Blue Milk doesn't like this guy. I like this guy. Triple attack, rage, still great. Plus Vapad. He's a lot cheaper than the other Mauls. He's in the Sith faction. So his Force 2 is very limiting, but this guy was made to be played with Darth Sidious hologram. Lore-wise and gameplay-wise, they're a perfect pair. I guess the only problem there is that he's got night speed, so he's able to rush into battle more, but I mean, come on, like, you put Citigram with this guy, you know, you put a mouse droid, his force problems are fixed. I think he's supremely underrated by Blue Milk. He doesn't have a lot of hit points, but again, like, he's 12 points cheaper, 10 points than the other Mauls. You know, if you were to put him in the Separatist faction, I still think that probably Champion of the Sith would be better. But to fit this guy in the Sith faction, I think he's a solid, cheaper alternative to some of the heavy, expensive Sith that can do a lot of damage and can do it fast. He will die. He is not got a lot of hit points for a close range fighter. 110 is going to get cut through because he has no defensive abilities. I mean, he's got 20 defense, but he's got no defensive abilities. But I think he's going to do a lot of damage before he dies. And I think that if you do the very cheap move of giving him Citigram, then the force powers being low is not a problem at all. And like, this sculpt is sick, right? Like, come on, look at that. It's awesome. Yeah, so those are the 4 Mauls in Star Wars Miniatures. I think that they're all good pieces. Champion of the Sith, maybe only the great piece. Although I certainly think you could make a case for the Clone Strike Darth Maul still being a very good piece. But it's impressive to me how I think none of them are really bad. A lot of characters in Wizards who have had 4 iterations or have a really bad one. There's so many terrible Lukes out there. There's some dreadful, I mean, not dreadful Vaders, but there's some Vaders that you just would never want to use. There's Lukes that are useless. But all the Mauls are, like, solid at best, I think. There's no Maul that, like, if someone told me I had to use them in a game, I wouldn't want to use. You know, I mean, there's some awful Anakin Skywalkers out there, Republic Anakins, and it seems like Wizards always loved Maul and always made him super powerful. So that's cool. If the game had gone on to today, I think it would be awesome to see a resurrected Maul. There was I don't think that happened at that. It was a very close thing, right? Because I would have to check what season Maul reappeared in, but you know, Clone Wars was covered. Ahsoka's in the game, Rex is in the game. Oh my God, it's people honking today. But we just didn't get far enough to have resurrected Maul, which is too bad, because I think that, like, the sets really just timed out. Because I remember sitting in a theater in 2011 for I think it was 2011 for the re-release of Episode 1 in 3D, which was awesome. I mean, Phantom Menace in 3D was so cool. The pod racing was so cool, and people, like, chanting "Maul lives" when he showed up on screen. They were chanting "Maul lives, Maul lives." And so, like, the game, I think, had just ended at that point. So it's too bad, because it would have been so cool to see the Clone Wars Maul in this game. But just one of those things that just didn't happen. Too bad. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little Maul-inspired video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, may the Force be with you.